This sword has over 14 million triangles, and this one has over 8,000 triangles. What's the main difference between them, and how to optimize them? My name is Benjamin, and I'm a self-taught 3D artist. Now let's get back to the video. As an example, I'm going to use this sword for my course from the free community that I have. The link is in the description. Now the first and biggest and most obvious difference between these two is triangle count. I know it sounds obvious, but this is truth. You see, you cannot put this baby into a game engine. If you try to do that, it's gonna explode. Look at how laggy it is. And now take a look at how it behaves in the edit mode. Can you see this? It has so many vertices that it became pitch black. And only if you zoom in, you can see the vertices, the faces, the edges, all of them. That is absolutely insane. You see, we make high polys mostly for the details. Usually high polys are used for movies, for product visualization, but not for video games. In the video games, they always use the low poly. You make high polys mostly with the details and then transfer that into a low poly with a thing called baking. And you might be wondering, is there a ceiling, a limit for amount of vertices that we can put into a high poly mesh? Well, you see, there's only one very important thing that matters, and that is whether or not your computer can handle the amount of vertices that you can put into a single mesh. See, the reason why I have made it specifically 14 and not more is because my computer can handle only this much. If I try to go higher, the software will crash, the Blender will not be responding well, and that's why I have made it specifically 14 millions. If I try to subdivide it once again, it's going to be 44 million or about 50 million triangles, which is incredible amount. So if you're wondering, a single environment in a video game is about 100 to 200,000 triangles. Sometimes even gets to about 1 million, but definitely not 14. 14 is a crazy amount of triangles, just for you to know. When it comes to low polys, are there some rules for it? Absolutely. Why is it specifically 8,000 or maybe 10,000 for some, maybe 20? You see, it all comes down to context. Is your mesh gonna be in a mobile, a computer, VR? Is it gonna be a first-person game, third person, or a view from above, just like Dota or World of Warcraft? Is it gonna be a hero asset, meaning it's gonna be used by a main character, or is it gonna be a background prop, just lying around somewhere and you're gonna pass by without even noticing it? These questions matter. By answering those questions, you understand what is the exact amount of triangles you can have in your mesh. If you're working in a studio, art leads will give you the exact number, so you won't have to figure it out yourself. And now let's say you have found out the exact number, which is about 10,000 triangles. Just let's imagine that number. Where should we put most amount of those triangles? Of course, it is to the silhouette. You see, silhouette carries more visual information than normals, textures, or materials. Normals only affect shading. Textures only affect surfacery, but silhouette affects shape recognition. Just take a look at this as an example. Do you see any noticeable difference? Probably not. They look identical. They look same. And you cannot even say which one is high poly or low poly. And so the only way to figure out if the silhouette is correct and it matches, if it is looking very similar at distance, in motion, and under flat lighting. If it does look similar, then you've done a great job in nailing down the silhouette. Well, now we figured out that the silhouette is the most important thing. Where should we put the most amount of triangles? Where obviously, where it is curved, not where it's flat. Just for example, if I put some edge loops around here, you can see that nothing really changes with or without. It's still pretty much same. However, if I try to remove the edge loops around the important corners, you can see that it instantly became more jagged, more sharp. With them though, it looks much more smoother. And so you should control where it goes, how it goes, and how well it nails down the silhouette. And that's why in the blade there is barely so much vertices compared to the hilt, where there's so many vertices and triangles. And so now we have both high poly and the low poly. How do we transfer the information from the high to the low one? The answer is baking. I already baked the textures, so all I'm gonna do is go into the shading tab and I'm gonna plug in the normal map to the BSDF. Boom! And now it looks so similar that there's barely any noticeable differences. Can you spot anything? Seriously, can you say which one is high, which one is low? No, of course you know that this one is high, this one is low, but if you're honestly speaking here, from whatever angle you look at it, it looks pretty much the same. That's why you should focus mostly on the silhouette. This moment sells the whole concept, and it is very satisfying psychologically. And so the rule of the thumb is, we make the high polys mostly for sculpting details. Also, we never put the high polys into a video game, a game engine. It is never an option, because if you do so, it is gonna crash. Just try and put your mesh, your 10 million triangles mesh, into an Unreal Engine 5 and see what happens. The other thing is, we also make high polys to bake the information from it and put it into a low poly, and the low polys is what we put into a game engine by optimizing early and checking whether the triangle count matches the limit that we have. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have some questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'll see you around.